Welcome back to Derrieres. I was up here working upstairs and I thought to myself, hey, I had a subscriber that said they didn't even know where to begin on a garden. And I thought, wow, because to me, I've always done a garden since I can remember. And I guess in the beginning, I just started doing it. I just did it. I just knew the stuff that I liked and I planted it. That was that. And then every year I kind of learned about how much I needed to grow for myself to have what I wanted, for the year or whatever until the next season came around. So I kind of thought about that today and I thought, okay, how can I help people realize what they need for a year to figure out how they can get what they need for a year's worth of meals or whatever. So this is my plan, okay? This is my plan for you. I would get yourself a calendar, like last year's calendar, 2022, rip off a month that's, got 4 weeks in it, and use those 4 weeks and just start writing down what you generally eat for a week. What is your favorite vegetable? Mine is Brussels sprouts. I would eat Brussels sprouts at least once a week. At least once a week, sometimes twice a week. At least to have it twice a week for me would be good, but I'll settle for once a week. So if I at least have Brussels sprouts once a week for dinner for Kane and I, what would that consist of? Okay, that would mean I would have to grow enough plants to cover that. So let's see. It's easy to figure out. Watch. Alexa, how many Brussels sprouts grows on one single plant?
From BobVila.com, a single Brussels sprout plant stalk will yield between 50 and 100 sprouts, making this an abundant crop to harvest.
So between 50 and 100 Brussels sprouts on one plant. So we're going to go with 50 because that's the lowest, right? Okay, so, and Kane, and a serving of Brussels sprouts is 5, by the way. I asked earlier on that one. And I usually eat 6 because I was wondering, is that about right? So I usually have 6 Brussels sprouts and Kane usually eats about 8. So that's 15, which is a pint if you're going to pickle them. I usually pickle some just for fun, but what I actually eat for dinner and stuff is stuff out of the freezer. I'll put it in the freezer. So if that is the case, and it is between 50 and 100 on one stalk, then I would say easy 12 stalks would feed Kane and I for the year. Easy. So, let's see. 15, yeah. 3, yeah, I'd say 12 for sure. 12 stalks easy would take care of us. And, okay, then you got broccoli. That's my next one on my list. Broccoli. Okay, so Alexa, how many servings is in one head of broccoli?
From U.org, a large head of broccoli is 4 servings.
4 servings. So there you go. We eat broccoli at least once a week, and I put broccoli in the oven for a meal with some, I don't know, rice and some meat or whatever, some chicken and who knows, whatever. I eat broccoli a lot. I love broccoli. I even like it raw in my salad. So 4 servings per head. Okay. Usually when I grow them, they're pretty good size, and I would think we could get way more than 4 out of that, but we'll stay with 4. So then you just add that up. So that would be 2 heads a month. So we're talking 24 heads for a year of broccoli. Okay. So that's what I need to grow. So that tells you where you're at. Then I need to get enough seed that I can grow 24 head of broccoli. I need enough seed that I can grow 12 stalks of Brussels sprouts. I need to get enough seed that, just think about it that way. Go through what you think you'll need, write it out. I make Mexican corn. We hardly ever eat it, but once in a great while. But if I need to put on the schedule, on the monthly schedule, I've got Brussels sprouts on there once a week. I've got broccoli on there once a week. I'll put corn on there once a month, sweet potatoes once a month, peas once a month, asparagus once a month, stuff like that. Just fill it in, whatever it is that you like, fill it in and how often you eat it. Then you're going to know how much you need to grow, right? Times it by 12, because you're 12 months in a year. So then that tells you right there how much you need to grow. But it doesn't have to be that hard, especially if you're not somebody that has got that much, time in your life to be making a bunch of spaghetti sauce or whatever. And it takes a lot of tomatoes to grow enough to make a lot of sauce anyway. So do what you can do. Grow what you can grow. Grow as many tomato plants as you can, because you know what? If you can eat them raw, eat them raw. If you can can them and make diced tomatoes, stewed tomatoes, tomato juice, tomato sauce, spaghetti sauce, marinara sauce, salsa, whatever you can make out of them, make it. And then if you still need stuff, buy it. If it takes a lot of tomatoes to make spaghetti sauce, start buying 3 a week and put them back. Just go in the store and buy whatever kind of tomato sauce, spaghetti sauce that you would like for your pasta and put them back. Get different kinds or whatever, switch it up, whatever. Get your Alfredo sauce. You don't have to can that either that way, and it's put back. You can make your own Alfredo sauce if you want, but if you don't have the time for that, you're raising kids and you're going to school functions and going to sports functions, and you've got all kinds of things going on, and you're working too and all that, do what's best for you. Get a couple extra and throw them back. Get yourself the pasta for them at the same time and put that back too, so you don't have a bunch of sauce and no pasta. So anyway, that's how I figure it out. I just figure out how much I eat a year, and then I figure it up, and then I grow accordingly. So I always have more than I ever need, that's for sure. I've got so much food down there, it's ridiculous. So, I don't even have to can that much this year in order to have a whole year's worth, because we really didn't eat a whole bunch this last year. We ate a lot of salad, and I'll tell you something else, another way to save money is you can buy stuff for salad, but have a pasta meal every week. That's a cheap meal and it goes far. You can have an egg meal. The egg prices are high right now, but they'll go back down because the stupidity will stop. It will stop. So eventually the eggs will go down. And by the way, buy them off a farmer anyway. If you got somebody down around you that's got some eggs and they're selling them, pick them up there. And hopefully they aren't like jacking the price up sky high. It does cost a lot to feed these animals, but it certainly doesn't cost what they're charging in the stores for them. And I'll tell you that's God's honest truth. So pick them up if you can get them off the farmer anyway. They're healthier. That stuff in the store has been sitting there for at least a month, and those chickens weren't ever like in a good place ever. They're not running around in the yard and eating bugs and grass and everything else. You don't want that stuff anyway. So you should be buying off the farmer anyway. Okay. Besides all that, you can have spaghetti, you can have salad, you can have an egg meal, soup. I make soups. I made a ton of soups. When we started having shortages on the jars, I decided, you know what? I need to make my jars count. So I started making things that really went far. And I found out that if I just make a soup, it has the meat in it, it has the vegetable in it. I made sure I had my greens in there, because I am a person that has to have my greens. So I made stuff that I could actually have my greens in there. Make some healthy soups. Put them on the shelf. I'm telling you, that's a whole meal. There's not having to grab a jar of canned chicken and grab a jar of canned peas and grab a jar of this and that, to make a meal. You're done. One jar and everything's in it. I've got 96 jars of soup down there, and I'll tell you right now, I probably have 6 more kinds in my mind that I'd like to make, because it's easy. You're out working, you're out there taking care of animals, you're trimming hooves, or you're fixing fence, or you're moving them, or, fixing some run or whatever. You're doing something all the time. You're fixing the driveway. You're having to mow in the summer. There's all kinds of stuff to do on top of taking care of kids and taking care of family, or going to functions that you have to go to and different things. Make it easy on yourself. It is nice just to have soup. You can even make like a grilled cheese with it, or have some cornbread with it, or whatever, And that's another thing. Make some and put it in the freezer so you have them, Make a couple rounds of cornbread, throw them in the freezer. And then they're done. You can pull them out the night before and they can thaw out and you're good to go. Think ahead about things like that. And I try to do that stuff, like cooking up cornbread, cooking up my zucchini bread, stuff like that, and getting things in the freezer when it's cold out and rainy out now in the winter and in the fall and in the spring. because in the summer, I don't want to be running an oven. So you think ahead, you know. And I cut my cornbreads in half, and that's what we use. We'll just pull out one, and Kane can eat some soup. I can eat some soup, and he's got cornbread to munch on for the next day or so, and he's good. You know, you have to think ahead about things like that. It's not really as difficult as you think it is to get a garden going, to get food on the shelf. But if it's too much for you to do, there are other ways to do it. You just have to figure out what your needs are first. And then, like I said, buy a couple cans of spaghetti sauce. If that's the thing that's going to be impossible for you to grow, and you don't think you're going to have enough tomatoes to ever pull that off, then buy the stuff, okay? Just try to get one that doesn't have too much crap in it. You know, try to get stuff that's kind of healthy, you know. But anyway, I buy, like last year, something got in my broccoli. Oh my gosh, something ate the tar out of my broccoli. I had to buy broccoli, and I did. I went in there and I loaded my cart up, and I bought enough broccoli and stuck it in the freezer. Took them all out of their bags and put them in big bags. I had gallon bags because they take up less room in the freezer. Packed them all full, and I pull out what I need when I need it. Well, I don't have any shame in that. You have to do what you have to do to take care of yourself. And that's what I had to do when something ate all my broccoli. So that's the way it goes, you know. You just got to make it work for yourself. But if you don't know what you need to begin with, then you're kind of at a loss. So you're going to have to sit down and get yourself a pen and a paper or a calculator, or whatever, your phone calculator, and find some way to get your information. I just ask Alexa anything I need to ask if I don't, you know, if I've got a quick question or whatever. It's real easy to find out the answers, guys. Get yourself a companion gardening book. You know, I think there's Tomatoes Love Carrots. I think is what it's called. It's a really good one. I have it downstairs. And it tells you everything to grow next to what so that it grows the best. And they complement each other. And also puts the good old stomp on having bugs. Certain bugs get into certain plants because you're planting other things next to them that work against that. I always plant my basil next to my tomatoes every year. You know, just learn what you can do. You can also get a planner called Clyde's Garden Planner. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. It's online. You can order one. I got mine years ago. I think it was $5. I don't know what they are now. I'm sure he's probably still doing it. I don't know anything about him or anything, but I know that that little garden planner slide thing is excellent. I love the thing. I use it every year. It tells me when to start. When I line up the mark on the little slide thing to my last frost date, which is usually around Mother's Day. So I think it's May 10th is what's on there, a date of May 10th. So I usually put it on there. And then it tells you when to plant everything. When to put your garden, your sets out, your onion sets out, your peas, everything. It's all on there. It tells you everything. And it also tells you how much your harvest, when your harvest dates are for those. It also tells you how much you can harvest from each plant. And it tells you also companion planting, I believe, is on there too, if I remember right. It also tells you for your fall garden, when to start planting stuff for a fall garden and when you should be harvesting that. It also tells you how long from starting your seeds to, you know, harvest time, how long that is. So that's a lot of things to think about. And if you have the right tools, you can figure it out. If I know some seeds don't, seed packets don't give you all the information. Sometimes they'll tell you, you know, how deep to plant them. And a pretty good rule of thumb there is however big the seed is, double that size, and that's about how deep you put it in the ground right there. I mean, that's easy as pie if you just remember that rule. But I think on there it tells you how many days that, you know, a plant is from seed to harvest. And a lot of the packets don't tell you that. I'll often be looking on there and trying, well, how long does it take before it comes to, you know, where it's a mature plant and it's ready for harvest, and it's just not on there, you know. But anyway, yeah, check out that Clyde's, I think Gardening Companion, I think is what it's called. I don't know. I'll go down and look downstairs real fast. I dumped my whole, I have a big, like little tote that I keep all my seeds and all my stuff in, and I had gotten them all out and lined them all up and had everything ready, and I knocked the whole thing over last night, so now I've got to redo the whole thing. But what I did, I always do with that, I get my seeds out about, I don't know, February, March, somewhere in there, before I start getting my seedlings started, you know. I pull it out And I put them in this little thing that I have, this little tote. And I have these markers that have dates on them. And so I have on there, March 15th, plant, and I have all the vegetables that I can put out at that time. Then I have the next date for planting, which is like a week later, and what I can put out then. The next one, and it tells me what I can put out all the way through the year, all the way through July. And then, I have in the back, I have a bunch of herbs back there in the back, and I have a thing for my gourds, another section for my gourds. I have another section for all my flowers. I try to keep pretty organized there. And the Clyde's Garden Planner tells you all that stuff, the dates, but it's easier for me. I use it too, but I made a cardboard piece out of a box, a divider in my little tote. It goes right across the top, and it says the date and what plants could be planted then. And you just pull it forward past the cardboard. I put all those plants behind it. Then there's another cardboard piece, and it says another date and all the stuff that can be planted at that date. Pull it forward, all those seeds are right behind it. And I did that. The whole thing's full. I mean, it's jam-packed. And I even bought more seeds last week. Because, why not? Right? You got to have enough. I'm going to make sure I have enough. And if anybody of my friends can't find something, I'll have something, I'm sure. I also found more purple tomatillo seeds, you guys. I found them at the dollar store, believe it or not. And seeds are like 4 packs for $1. I think it's $1 at the dollar store. So I don't even know how many dollars worth there the other day, because I figured might as well. But I did find the tomatillo seed. I loved mine last year. Absolutely loved them. I had such a good time growing those. This year I'm trying to find something different to grow. So if you got something special out there you think is just great and you had a really good time enjoying it, growing it, let me know, and I might try that too. Anyway, you guys take care. Get out there. Get the shovel. You don't have to have a tiller. Turn that soil. You just turn the soil over. You just got to turn the oil over, Get out there and turn it over. If you have to do a little bit at a time, you got a plot out there and you got a bad back. You guys, I got metal in my back from the middle of my back all the way down to my sacrum. So it's not like something that's really comfortable for me to work real hard in the garden like that. But I can go out there with my shovel, and I turned that garden over after we got rid of the goats last year. The next day I was out there and I turned it over and I got all my tomatoes in, and I turned it over some more and I planted some acorn squash, and I turned it over some more and I planted those tomatillos, and then I started on the beans section, and I did the beans section. I took a break for about an hour and I came back out and I did some area for the eggplant, and then I took a break and had me an iced tea, and then I went over and started working on the area to have my radishes and my hot peppers. I got that done. Then I came out the next day and I did the area for my bell peppers. And then I thought, well, you know what? I'll put some bee balm out here and I'll put some yard-long beans. And so I made an area for that. And then I got me some rock, and I got me some bricks, and I got me some wood. And I went out there and kind of made little areas, so you could define what was what. And they had their own little separate places, try to make it look cute. I just took my time. I think I ended up going to the dollar store and buying some little stake to stick out there, because the whole thing was like a last minute deal, and I wanted to put something out there to zhuzh it up a little bit. And I think I ended up going and getting my little angel and my rabbit, my concrete angel and rabbit. And I stuck those out there trying to zhuzh up the garden. I did buy some things this year to zhuzh up the garden with though already, so I'm excited about that. You guys can do this. I know you can. And the things that you can't do, like I said, the spaghetti sauce, just go buy it. Who cares? Just get it put back somewhere. You need to be putting food back. You need to be putting it back, and I'm telling you, it doesn't look like it's going to get any better out there, you guys. The prices just keep going high, and they like we got some kind of leader that's looking out for us. Obviously, you could tell that from the new Palestine situation. So they're absent. I don't know where they went, but we're kind of on our own, y'all. So make the best of it. Help each other out. If you have to start a garden club and you guys go to each other's houses in the summer and help each other weed, do it. This week can be, Judy's house, and next week can be Carol's house, and the next week can be Sheila's house, and whatever. Get together with your girlfriends, help each other plant, help each other get your gardens together, whatever you need to do. Swap seeds, make it work. Get yourself a little garden club going. Find out who wants to get in on it and make it fun. You could even zhuzh up your gardens with each other, help each other, make them cute. See you guys later. Take care. Bye.